What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new cryptocurrency related video, and we're excited to be talking about the developments that we've been seeing. Various different resistance points have been overcome. Bitcoin, where it is at 4,000, whether or not it's going to go back down to 3,900 before the day is out, well, that still remains to be seen. However, the fact that we're seeing this kind of activity this early, quarter one of 2019, definitely some good signs there, and a big indication of what we can see developing as far as the conversation that's regarding these technologies. So when we're talking about academic rigor, we're talking about academic credentials. These are things that they might not mean much to you and me, but when it comes to the establishment and how they choose to evaluate, and of course the news articles are going to be very interconnected with these sort of credentials, it's big to talk about. And so in this video, we're going to be exploring not only how Cardano has potential to be big and develop its reputation in the Western hemisphere, but also at the same time, we saw Japanese television has been giving Cardano some airtime, and any publicity is good publicity, especially when it's good publicity, of course. So, but of course, right here, similar articles like these we've been seeing all 2019, heralding Cardano in, as the most actively developed coin in 2018, according to data available on this website right here. So whether or not you want to criticize Cardano or whether you want to give it praise, you really can't take away the fact that they've been getting some really important attention. Now, in particular, where we've seen altcoins with a bit of renewed interest, Bitcoin dominance has gone down slightly, which means that there is a little bit of power being returned to the altcoins, which is also something of note, something worthy of being talked about. So this video is going to explore why they call it King Cardano, and essentially what's happening right now and what can we expect in terms of bullish activity moving forward in 2019 regarding these different issues of mass adoption. An interesting comment that I was reading earlier was talking about how the last bull run, where we saw Bitcoin at its all-time highs, was based mainly on speculation. However, this next bull run, where we actually are going to be witnessing mass adoption, is going to be based on credentials, and of course academic credentials never hurt in a job interview, and Cardano is bringing them to the table in a way that is unprecedented as far as the crypto space is concerned. So all this information and more. Ladies and gentlemen, it's happening for Cardano. The cup and handle is established. Next target at 8 cents. And this is coming at a very exciting time with some very positive news that we've been seeing coming out, painting the cryptocurrency space in a very highlighted fashion, definitely giving us some much needed redemption. I think that the reputation of cryptocurrency is going to continue along this sort of positive outlook. There's been so many developments on the technical side, and I think that there hasn't been nearly enough news coverage, and I think that we're going to be seeing a renewed interest in cryptocurrency from the mainstream bodies. As we've seen, they're getting themselves all aligned in the proper positions. XRP's doing its thing with the banks, one bank at a time, and of course with Tron doing its thing, then Cardano doing its thing. It's kind of a perfect renaissance era. I think people who have their ear to the grindstone or are paying attention to what's happening, there's no doubt that there's going to be some very interesting moves made in 2019, some make it or break it uphill battle for sure, but a lot of interesting things nonetheless. If you live in the United States, for example, Cardano might not mean as much to you as for people who live, all the way in different nations. I think stand, in particular, developing nations with what we see Cardano doing. For instance, in Rwanda, we've heard Charles Hoskinson talking about how Cardano posits a real potential for these developing nations to really skip a lot of the basically overtake a lot of technological advances that are really bogged down by much regulations that essentially the infrastructure that's laid down that in a lot of more developed nations will essentially be their own downfall, because it's essentially they're in developing countries, they have this desire to hop on board with the most and integrate the most advanced technologies. And I think that this is something that's going to make Cardano stand out. In particular, when we see this sort of media attention, it's difficult for them to criticize Cardano. It seems like the one thing that Cardano definitely benefits from is getting this attention. In particular, when we see the essentially the analysis coming in, the academic credentials and all these things tend to pile up. So, I mean, right here, we're looking at this article, Charles Hoskinson and Cardano featured on Japanese national TV. Like I said, this cryptocurrency involves all the way around the world. So right here, Cardano ADA project has recently received some major publicity from Japanese national TV. Co-founder Charles Hoskinson and the company logo were featured on channel BS1 and I don't actually watch Japanese national television, but I could tell that this is a big indicator of what we can see as far as the acceptance of and the way that Japan is going to aim to go as far as leveraging cryptocurrency. It stands to reason that the position that Japan assumes moving forward is definitely going to have a huge influence on the way that these different technologies are viewed through a lot of different mainstream attention. Upward momentum pushes Cardano price closer to 5 cents. I mean, it's coming. This is what it's going to look like. The cryptocurrency basically breaking out of these various different resistance levels. I'm very excited to see that Bitcoin, where it currently is at $4,000, whether it's going to go back down to 3,900 or whether it's going to stay at 4,000, that still remains to be seen. However, we are still seeing 2019 has been pretty good so far, relatively sideways, and essentially I think that this is a key indication that we do have a healthy market. I mean, I haven't seen many negative cryptocurrency articles popping up. It seems as if and I think that this is going to go a long way with the mainstream recognition of the academic credentials that Cardano has, and what we could see Charles Hoskinson bringing to light as these things really get up and moving, flexing their muscles and showing what Cardano has to offer, why they call it King Cardano. So according to my analysis and basically the consensus of all the different accumulated information that I've been able to recover, I would say that 5 cents is a critical point for Cardano, and if it hits 5 cents, who knows what could happen. Of course, whether or not we're actually going to go as far, it seems as if that we recently today did see an influx of money being poured into the space. And we'll be making a video of speaking about that in the live stream later on. So of course, make sure that you stay tuned. We're going to be going over what's exactly happening with this upward spike that we've been seeing. But this is a good indication of a healthy market in 2019, and it's no stranger to me. I mean, for anybody who's been in cryptocurrency for any amount of time, you're certainly paying attention, probably getting excited, and of course, remember, don't get caught up in the mainstream hype and basically what all these people are saying. Of course, there's going to be YouTubers out there who are just going to try and be the cheerleader for this upward swing. I try to separate myself from that. I want to give you guys the most even-handed perspective as possible, so it's important to take into consideration what Cardano has done in the real world versus what academics actually mean. Now, I know in the technical aspect of this, they are sort of interconnected and linked on a higher scale. So now we'll see what happens, but it does remain to be said. We do have a long road ahead of us. So no, don't get too excited. Just just by seeing this. But one thing is for sure, Cardano's active development team, and their work that they've been doing, basically, it is signaling, I think, sending the message that Cardano is really not to be fucked with in the cryptocurrency space, and I think we'll probably be getting, recruiting some people over from some of the less, shittier performing altcoins in this time period. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Obviously, this video is just for the sake of entertainment, and I'm not giving any advice. But of course, remember, this, like I said, just make your own decisions, and obviously do your own research, your own due diligence. But top 10 most mentioned cryptocurrencies on Twitter this last hour, we got Cardano showing up just like the rest of them. So definitely some interesting things happening every single day. I'm not losing faith, but I'm also not getting too excited. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, this pretty much says it all right here. And my lines were, pretty much similar. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys are interested in connecting with us on Twitter, you can do so. That's at CryptoTuber. Link will be in the description as always. And like I said, have a good day, everybody. I'll see you guys next video. Stay relevant, and long live Cardano.